Bunny Tears. What's cracking, Bunny Boilers? My name is Bunny Tears. Welcome to yet another Black Ops 2 commentary, this time entitled Sales. There is a reason I wanted to do this commentary, however, as always, first thing is first. This is technically a private match. It was a scrim. Now, if you don't know what scrims are, it's where two competitive teams play each other for practice. It doesn't go towards any ladder or anything like that. It's just good to play another team of a high caliber. I was playing with the Absol guys. Now, the teams were set up like this. They had their first team, so their best team, against their second team, so their second best team. And after the first game, we realized that the teams weren't very fair, so I got put onto the second team, and someone from the second team got brought over to the first team so that it was a bit more even. So it was essentially me and the second team against the first team with one person from the second team. Now, the only person you're really going to recognize in this game is Y2 Canyon, aka Tokyo Sex Whale, aka the Grand Canyon, also known as now Absol Jericho. He's changed his gamer tag to Absol Jericho because he is part of this clan, this competitive team. So he's on the other team. You get to watch this search and destroy that we're playing for practice, really, and things actually went really well. I enjoyed the way it went, so enjoy that while I talk about sales. So, I guess the reason I wanted to talk about sales is because of the fact that it's brought so much into my life so far that I wanted to break down why and how it's done this. Because I recently went back into a sales position, basically because I missed it above all other things. I missed being in sales. I want to back away from, like, marketing online, away from social media marketing, the things that I was doing before, and move back into sales, because I think it's what I'm best at. Now, I guess the basis of this commentary is to try and convince you guys to try sales at some point. It's got a really negative connotation about it. Everyone seems to think that sales is a really negative thing to go into, whereas once I got past that and ignored what everyone was saying about how bad sales is and how tough it is, and just went straight in and put all of my effort into it, it was one of the best industries I had ever been in. And to this day, it still is, hence why I'm going back into sales, or I have gone back into sales. But the thing is, it's kind of ups and downs, because to be a good salesman, you need good training. Very good training. And the best training I've ever seen for sales was in the door-to-door sales position that I was in. However, I think that was only because in that position, everything was based around commission. So you didn't have a basic wage. If you didn't sell anything, you didn't get paid. That wasn't only the case for the salesman, but that was the case for your manager. If you guys in the office didn't sell anything, the manager didn't get paid, and then his manager didn't get paid, and then the regional manager didn't get paid, and then the vice president didn't get paid, and the president didn't get paid. So everyone from bottom to top was essentially working off of commission, despite the fact that it was only the salesmen that were doing the sales. This meant that that company had an amazing sales training program, because they knew if they didn't have the best salesman in the business, they weren't going to make as much money as they potentially could. But this is where the problem lies, because I don't feel comfortable suggesting purely commission-based sales to anyone. Not because I didn't enjoy it, because I loved that position, but because it's going to take you a while to learn everything you need to learn to make a lot of money in that position. And during that period of, I want to say, around 2 months, you're not going to be making as much money as you would in the later stages. And when you're in a position that's purely based on commission, it means that you might not eat. If you're doing really bad in the first stages, which is probably expected if you've never done sales before, you're not going to be able to support yourself. Whereas I've seen other companies that do offer a basic wage. There's a lot of charity companies out there that do door-to-door sales as well. However, they offer a basic wage to their employees. I've never seen a salesman come to my door who has a basic wage, who is as successful and skilled as a salesman as the people who are just on commission. So it is tough, because I would suggest sales to anyone. However, I don't know if you're going to gain the same benefits if you go into a position with a basic wage as you would if you go into a position with just commission. but I can't suggest commission to you. So I thought I'd talk a little bit about what I've gained from the sales positions and what I just love about it in general. So I'll probably mention this before, but before I went into my door-to-door sales position, I wasn't comfortable speaking to anyone I didn't know. No one. I would never speak to new people, and if I did, I was very awkward and shy about it. I was more interested in video games. But then when I went into this position, after, like I said, about 2 months of doing it, I was so comfortable speaking to complete strangers because we had to speak to 120 strangers a day, and not only did we have to speak to them, we had to try and sell them something, even though as soon as they open the door and realize you're a door-to-door salesman, they immediately hate you. So you get very good at speaking to people, and when you speak to 120 people a day that hate you, and you are able to sell some of those people something, you're doing very well. So it meant that after that, when it came to a situation where, say, I was at a party and I was meeting a bunch of new people, speaking to them was easy because they're at a party. They're having fun. They're in a good mood. So speaking to someone who's in a good mood and really doesn't mind meeting you is completely different to speaking to someone who immediately hates you from the second they see you. So those skills that I gained, not only did they boost my confidence, but they boosted everything. Just my mood in general. When you're a door-to-door salesman and someone tells you to go fuck yourself, you're scum, get off my door, get a real job, if you let that go to you, if you let that affect you negatively, the next door you knock on, you're going to be all down like, oh, hi there, yeah, I just wanted to... And then that person's going to automatically react negatively to you again, even though they might have been positive if you went there with a smile. So it's kind of like faking your moods. You have to ignore the negative people and still pretend to be happy on the next door. However, once you've pretended to be happy for that long, I was in that position for a year and a bit. Once you pretended to be happy for a year and a bit, it just makes you happy. It just becomes your natural state. It's very rare that I get put into a bad mood these days. I can think of maybe 3 occasions in the last... God knows how long, where I was in an awful, awful mood. And that's another benefit. Not only that, but just having sales on your CV is a good thing to have, because that can be linked to anything. That can be linked to customer service. That can be linked to dealing with complaints. Companies will look at your CV, and these days, if they see door-to-door salesman on that CV, they don't think about it as negatively as they would have in the past, especially if the position you're applying for involves sales. Because there is no salesman on the planet that has it as hard as someone doing door-to-door sales. I can tell you that for a fact. But yet again, we come across this same problem. I'd like to suggest doing sales to you, but the only way to get the best training for doing sales is to go into a commission-based position, which I can't suggest to you. Oh yeah, by the way, I forgot to mention at the beginning of this game, I have Xbox Live back, hence why this game was allowed to happen. But yeah, sales. Another thing, of course, I've talked about this in the past. When I was talking about how to do a good commentary, and it was all about fluency and not leaving any gaps in what you're saying, before I did sales, I would not have been able to do that. At all. I couldn't talk for 30 seconds without leaving huge gaps and having to think about what I was saying. Whereas now, as you guys know, this commentary is going to be about 10 minutes long. Just less than 10 minutes. And I haven't written a script for it. I haven't taken more than one take. This is the first take I've taken. And I'd like to think at least that it seems pretty fluent, that there aren't that many gaps. I don't have to think about what I'm saying. I know what I want to say, so I'll just say it. So that's another thing you can gain from it, just fluency in speaking to people. And I guess all of this adds up to just becoming a much happier person. But not only becoming a happier person, but other people realizing you're a happier person and liking you more. Because I had my group of friends before I did the sales, just from growing up with them. But the amount of friends that I gained after doing the sales was ridiculous. I mean, everyone just seemed to be much nicer after I'd done the sales, but I didn't realize it was because of the way I was acting to them. Because I'm so comfortable speaking to them, and just really happy about everything, they are immediately comfortable back. But that's about it, guys. I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about sales because I love it so much and I've gone back into it. I'll probably do another commentary about my new position, but until then, as always, buddy out, bitches! What's cracking, Bunny Ballers? My name is Bunny Tears.